How's it going, everybody? Thinky D here, coming at you live, man, yet again. And today, I want to do a quick movie review on the newest Captain America: Brave New World. So this video will contain spoilers. I will have a point, hopefully time-stamped now, on the screen, where you can go and check out the spoiler section. But for the first part, we'll talk about no spoilers, and then we'll get into it. So movie review, just overall thoughts, that kind of thing. So yeah, no spoilers. Again, there will be something in the timeline and at the front of the video to tell you where to go for the spoiler part of the video. So yeah, that being said, I watched the movie. Haven't finished it that long ago today, and I wanted to just talk about it. So, I'm a big Marvel fan. I would say so myself. Infinity War, man, I was freaking out. I think I don't know how many times I've seen, like, I've gone back and watched like theater reactions and stuff. Like, I was there. I remember that, and it was quite a wild time. And slowly after, even Endgame, I don't think was as good as Infinity War. And then the quality has just slowly got like worse and worse. And I feel like this is just leading up to the movie, review. So I feel in terms of Marvel movies, we're pumping out too many movies. You get too many characters, and you're relying on people now to watch other content to understand, characters and what happened. Look at the Marvels, for example. So if you didn't know who Miss Marvel was, which I kind of knew of her, but I hadn't like seen the show of her, then I go into the movie and I'm like, right, what is this? And I'm not knowledgeable. So that kind of plays a little bit of effect in this movie. So yeah, Brave New World. We got our Captain America, right, which is Sam Wilson. So just the Falcon is now Captain America. So if you haven't seen the Winter Soldier, the show, with the Falcon and Bucky, you're gonna be a little off on a couple things. You're gonna be like, where'd that come from? That's one thing. Now, I guess in the end of Endgame, you would have seen the shield get passed, right? But nothing else. It's really that, right? So you have to watch the show to kind of understand where that's at and a couple of the characters. But again, that's a spoiler part. I would actually just overall, we'll just rate it right now, and I'll quickly just kind of surmise it. I would probably say generous 4 to 10. I don't think it was really worth watching like a second time. I would not see that one more time. I will say that. There are some movies like Thor: Love and Thunder I will never watch again. I would, like, if I had to really pick, like, say Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man Quantum Realm, or this and, like, the Eternals, I'd probably still watch this the second time if I had to. So that's why I'm giving it the 4. It's not that good, okay? A lot of the CGI, a lot of the effects, I thought were really, really bad, actually. And they've definitely done something. This is maybe a minority opinion, but they've definitely done this thing that I really dislike, where their helmets are just like CGI'd on. So back in the day, right, and hopefully, I forgot to mention this, hopefully when I'm talking, I'll inlay some footage, just 5 seconds or so, just, you don't want to do copywriting, but just so I can show you what I'm talking about. So back in the day, like in the first Iron Man movie, and I understand Iron Man like upgraded his tech as he went along. In the first Iron Man movie, you know how he puts a helmet on, right? He actually takes a metal helmet. Think about when he fights Thor, okay? I think it's when he fights Thor that I'm thinking of, and he dons the helmet, right? That's literal, right? He's got a helmet, puts it on, right? There he is. It's Iron Man, right? And you get that. And in this movie, there's a scene where Sam's fighting somebody, and I can't say any more than that, but fighting characters, let's say that. And he just has this nanotech helmet, no button press, no physical thing that you've seen that he would attach a helmet. And it's on his head. And it just looks really bad. This isn't also this movie particularly that does this. This is a Marvel thing now where every character can just spawn a helmet. Spider-Man in Endgame was spawning a helmet. Anybody, Star-Lord would spawn a helmet, right? They'd just go, and they'd have a helmet. At least he hit a button, right? And it looks really, really poor. I get what they're trying to do with it. Like, you want to see the actor, right? And that's another criticism to it as well, is like there's so many points where it's like helmets off, right? And it's like that's a fatal point. Like, you've got armor, you've got the wings, you got everything, and it's like constant in scenes where it's like, oh, I'm in danger, let me despawn my helmet so you can see my face. Yeah, so that being said, 4 out of 10 for the movie. I had to nitpick that. That is a nitpick, but that's just something particular to me. And again, talk about it more in the spoiler section of the video. The plot, I'm not really crazy about the plot in this movie. I think the main villain, there's always a villain. Again, spoiler section, we'll talk about him. But yeah, the villain of this movie isn't really that important. This is not a spoiler, but I'm going to just slightly warn you now that it could be if you didn't see the trailer. So here we go. So in the trailer, they just show the Hulk. They show the Red Hulk. Okay, now I'm not privy to knowing really much about the Red Hulk at all, but they bring this character into the trailer, and I just thought that would have been served better if it was a mystery. If you just didn't know that a Red Hulk was in the movie, I think it could have improved the movie slightly, because you just wouldn't have known that. It would have been a good surprise. You'd be like, oh, that's cool, and you would have rolled with it. But yeah, that's kind of, I just feel like it was a bit of a letdown with the Hulk. The Hulk's really not in the movie a whole lot. I think total runtime, I saw somewhere on Reddit, someone wrote it in a review, it was like 7 minutes. That's not a surprise. The Hulk is not the villain. The Hulk is just like, I feel like an afterthought into the movie. Like, we just edited him in, and also, I just wasn't that impressed with it, the Hulk. Yeah, so, I mean, really, I want to talk about spoilers, so we'll kind of wrap that up, and we'll move to the spoiler section. So, 4 to 10, Brave New World. Oh, yeah, and before we get to the spoilers, I will just surmise, too, the jokes / quips, so that Marvel seems to be infamously known for. I think all of them kind of fell flat. I didn't find any of them really good or entertaining at all. Yeah, and there's just not much more without kind of spoiling a bit of the movie that I want to talk about. So we'll just kind of do that now. So that's it, guys. If you're not checking out the spoilers, see ya. And if you want to just check it out, here we go. All right, so spoilers coming. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk freely now, right? I was really limited in what I could say. Yeah, so the movie sucked ass. There's really not much more to say about it than that. I'm kidding. So the whole plot is pretty simple. So there's a villain who, is basically been imprisoned, but I guess has been on a leash, and he's allowed to do some things. Guy's a brainiac. If I remember correctly, too, he's actually from 2008 Hulk, and they bring a couple characters back very slightly from that, which we'll talk about more in a minute. So it's almost like a Hulk sequel for a second. Anyway, and his whole ploy is to, pin a war on, like, the US, Japanese, anybody else, I guess, too, about antimanium. I'm saying that wrong. But the metal used in Wolverine's claws is now been discovered. You know where that was? Do you know where that was? They finally talked about it. The Celestial that came up out of the water from the Eternals. Finally. And they're like, hey, there's antimanium in there. Like, they said it's, like, stronger than vibranium. And you know what? Like, Wakanda's like a joke now. You're like, oh, okay, we got nothing. And it's just a fight to, like, get this resource, right? And hog it, like, control it. Yeah, so I'm just kind of surprised that finally came up. So the whole plot is pretty simple. He's basically able to mind control various people, pin kind of allegations against the United States. President Ross, the guy who apparently made the Accords, the Sokovian Accords, whatever you say, back in a previous movie. Yeah, so he's one of our main guys, and eventually gets turned into the Red Hulk. So he's actually fed pills that apparently, like, keep his heart going, and they've got, like, some gamma radiation, which eventually makes him just turn to the Red Hulk. All right. But, more on that in a minute. And he's got, I disagree with this completely. So a woman named Ruth, from, like, Israel, who's, like, 4'11" and apparently an ex-Black Widow. Like, I just don't buy this, at all. We see her fight a little bit. I gotta be, like, this is a real stupid point I'm gonna make, but I gotta say it. She comes out of a scene with, like, some weird, like, leather jacket on. It just looks like a funny leather jacket. But it literally looks like it was from, like, a kid's section. It just doesn't look like it, like, fits her properly. And I don't buy her character. She's probably a fine actress and a fine lady. But, like, her in this movie, there'd be guys, like, armored up and stuff. And she's just like, Really? Like, she's like kicking their butts. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Even Black Widow, but like she at least had like tactic, right? If you want to watch a realistic movie with a female protagonist that's gonna like beat people up, Atomic Blonde. You know why? Because she gets her butt kicked too, right? It's a realistic fight, and that's actually a comment I will give the movie in praise in a moment. But yeah, so I didn't buy her character at all, but she was the next Black Widow. And she plays a pivotal role too in like kind of just following the Falcon. I'm just gonna call him the Falcon, okay? But yeah, so just following the Falcon, helping him out. I don't know what happened, but like Yolanda, whatever her name is there, I forget, the blonde lady. So she was supposed to be like the sister of our Black Widow, and like was set up, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, where is she? So I don't understand that at all. Like, she's supposed to be like the new Black Widow, not available. Like, I guess they couldn't hire her for the movie. Other than that, we have, like I said, we have our new Captain America. I don't like him as Captain America at all. I think the actor is good as a side character. I think he's fantastic as a side character. And he gets his own side character. He's got a new Falcon. He's not the Falcon yet. I forget his name already. Like, it's that forgettable, right? Anyway, Buddy's like straight up. He's just like, man, like, I'm with you, whatever. It's like, how do they even meet? Where do they meet? I don't even remember them having screen time other than this. So you're telling me he just like found a new guy and it's like, you're the Falcon now. And it's like, yeah, like can you just keep making the gear and make like an army of Falcons? Like, I don't understand. And Elijah is actually has used the serum. I don't know if it's to the full extent of like Captain America, but he has used it. So he was actually in the Winter Soldier show. And Bucky makes a very small cameo where he just talks randomly, and it's just really forced dialogue. I didn't buy it. But yeah, he's a main character as well. And plays a bit of a role. So if you don't see the shows, you're really not going to understand who the hell we're talking about here, which is really unfortunate because it's just the problem with what's going on with these shows. It's like if you don't follow them, you don't understand the movie, which is a problem, right? So that being said, so the whole point of the movie is really focused about this metal and just pushing the war. At the end of I'm just going to kind of skip through it, honestly. So at the end of the movie, Harrison Ford, right, as Ross, loses control and turns into the Red Hulk. Okay, this has got to be, in my opinion, one of the worst fight scenes I've seen in a Marvel movie in a while. I didn't like it personally at all. I thought the Red Hulk was a joke. I thought it was really anticlimactic. It was like 7 minutes. Like, it's just not enough. And one thing I'll say about the Falcon, that ain't Captain America, bro. That's the Falcon. He's getting his butt kicked, right? Which I kind of like, actually, because it shows that he's human. But when he fights the Hulk, like, he's taking the hits, and it's like, brother, you be gone. Like, that's the Hulk punching you, and you're just like, I don't know, man. I don't buy it. So, in the beginning of the movie, we'll come back to the Hulk in a second. In the beginning of the movie, he fights this, like, really buffed up guy. And I think he gets, I don't know if it's that specific fight, but he gets his ribs broken. Gets a few broken ribs. And he's like, and he's walking it off. And I like that because it just shows that he's a human being. He's not a superhero, right? He's a human being with technology. So he's walking it off, right? Like he actually gets his ass kicked quite a bit in the movie, which I don't mind. But I also think it's a joke because it's like, this is supposed to be Captain America. And, and it's like, could he just call somebody in to help him? Like, I think he needs it. And that being said, when he fights the Hulk, like, he hasn't, like, recovered. He's got bandages on his waist, right? And he's like, you can tell, like, he's been effed up. And it's like, brother, you shouldn't be, like, fighting. You shouldn't even be walking probably right now, right? And I don't buy it. He's also got, like, vibranium now in the wings. So it has the same technology that the Black Panther uses, where it stores kinetic energy and can reflect it back at an opponent. And, again, it's like, when was that? Like, so I don't buy it. I don't buy it. End credits scene was pretty stupid. So this is going to be a hot take. If this whole review has not been. Hot take. I think the multiverse is a waste of time. And that's what they set up at the end. They're like, he's like, you're not going to be ready. because there's others out there, you know, and then like it just leaves. That's literally the end credit scene. And I just thought it was a joke. I don't like the multiverse. I don't really like anything that it entails. I think the idea is interesting, and I think it's been used wrong. I really think like because you're just going to defeat, like, let's say you defeated Thanos, right? You're like, all right, we've bested Thanos in combat. It's like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And it's like, oh, did you know there's more Thanoses out there? And it's like, and then they could just come back, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with the multiverse. I just don't find it worthwhile. I don't really like it personally. I'm sure other people do, but that's just a personal, I'm not feeling it. Last thing I'll mention is kind of like cameos. So I forget Ross's daughter. I don't remember her character name. I don't care. So she's in the movie like for like 30 seconds at the end of the movie, talks to Ross because he's been like in prison. I guess he's still the president, but he's been in prison because obviously now he's a Hulk. That's a problem. And I thought her like they must have used like de-aging on her. Her face looked really weird. Like she talked, it looked like glitchy. I don't know, like maybe that was just me like hallucinating, but like it just looked odd. And I didn't like it. I just looked really kind of bad. And that's a final note I'll say, is like the CGI in this movie doesn't look good. Like, again, when Captain's fighting the Hulk, like, it just isn't good. He defeats the Hulk, by the way, but, like, talking him down. It would have been something if the daughter did it. Like, if the daughter talked him down. I was like, I could see that. But, like, he talked him down. Like, Sam talks him down. I'm like, you gotta do better. Like, he didn't say that, but maybe. But yeah, it's just bad. But the CGI in that fight was just abysmal. Like what I was mentioning earlier about the helmet. When the helmet comes on, you're like, ugh, right? And it just doesn't look good, right? And I think we're in a superhero exhaustion phase, and we're not getting out of it because they're not giving a break. And I think the quality is reflecting. I think the quality isn't good, and it's gonna keep tumbling downhill. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. All right. See ya.